Hello again, BookTube. It's now Easter. Normally on this day all around the world, people would be meeting together and saying, Christ is risen indeed. And maybe we will still say that just over some kind of software like Zoom. Just very, very strange. But I did want to look a little springy. I'm not going to lie to you. This is, it does not look like spring outside our windows. We have at least 3 inches of snow and it's still snowing. And I did want to share with you my special Easter egg. And this is from, well, my mother made this on a super fancy machine. So I did share it when we read the Betsy Tacy books together, but I realized those videos weren't of interest to many of you, and so I just wanted to share it here as well. The next thing is, I told you guys I was going to make an Easter garland. One of you and my mother sent me more fabric than I don't know. It doesn't look like I've made much of a dent in the fabric, but here is some footage of me making that. Hi everyone, this is Kelly with Books I'm Not Reading, and I'm making my little Easter garland, or it'll be a big Easter garland. As you can see, I have fabrics that are very colorful and beautiful, but very different in size, so that'll be an interesting challenge. But yeah, my mother and one of you sent me so much fabric, so thank you so much. I just started this morning, and I haven't, as you can see, I haven't got very far, but I have super cute Easter fabric. I have this stuff with little eggs. I don't know if you can see that or not. And I have this like really cute bunny fabric. Alright, well, I'm gonna just start working on this now and we'll see how far I get. What the garland looks like. I don't know if you can tell. So it's pretty long, and so eventually what I'll do is I'll take it and wrap it around the banister of our staircase upstairs. But anyway, it's springy. I don't think you could just look at it and necessarily know it was, you know, an Easter garland. But it's just a fun way to use up a lot of scraps of fabric, and especially when people like my mother cut them all up for me, then it's really, really easy. So I'll probably spend some more time working on that today. And I just wanted to give a quick review because, man, I've shown this book on my channel so many times and it needs to be done. So I did read Raymond Carver's short story collection, Where I'm Calling From. And I just, like I said, this is a very brief review because I have very mixed feelings about this book. I think when Raymond Carver is on with stories like Where I'm Calling From, What We Talk About When We Talk About Love, Cathedral, there was even another one in here that I hadn't heard of before, A Small Good Thing. All excellent stories, very kind of remind me of Hemingway a little bit, about working class people in California and the Pacific Northwest. And yeah, when he's on, it's like lightning. It's so good. But so many of these stories are the same story. So it's either a man is leaving a woman or about to leave a woman a woman is leaving or about to leave a man or has left, both those cases. Or there's a couple, but you can kind of see, you can look ahead and realize it's not going to work out. And sometimes they were just so similar to each other. I really think one of the reasons this collection suffers is the order that they put the stories in, because I remember 3 stories in a row that it just felt like the same story. The other thing I will say too is, and I did a very cursory search online. The very last story in this book, which I think is called Errand, it does not feel like Raymond Carver at all in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know what it was. I have no idea. It's not his voice, so I have no idea what that means. Did he write it? Did someone else write it? I don't know. So it's jarringly different. It's about Chekhov. So I don't know what it doesn't belong in this, at least in this collection. Now maybe if he had written a bunch of other stories that were more similar to that one, great, but yeah, that's weird. I'm really struggling because there's a part of me that wants to get rid of this book, but then there's a part of me that's like, wow, like there's really great stories in here. So I love the few short stories that are really good in here, but do I want to keep the whole collection? I'm just not sure. I'm not sure I'll read these again. It was a bit disappointing, but I feel really good that I have got this done. And then a couple events that are coming up in May, just to put on your radar in case you haven't seen them, the announcement videos for them, and one of them I just saw the announcement video for this morning. So first of all, during the month of May, there's 2 events. One is called MaybeMidrash. And I'll leave the hashtag and the announcement videos for these below. MaybeMidrash is taking place during the entire month of May. It's being hosted by my husband Jason from Old Blues Chapter and Verse, Steve Donahue, and I think it's Felicia at Little Prairie Library. And so MaybeMidrash is about reading a nonfiction and a fiction book related to has some kind of like religious element to it. Like it could be a retelling of a story. It doesn't have to do with any particular faith or any particular set of ideas. And the goal is also to search for kind of more literary things rather than maybe like, I don't know, is Christian inspiration fiction like a genre? I'm not sure, but anyway, they do a much better job of explaining it than I am doing right now. So check out their announcement videos. I was thinking of, I need to add anything. My TBR is so messed up already this month. I was thinking of maybe reading Lilies of the Field by William Barrett. Jason got this for me for Christmas along with the movie because we watched the movie, I think it was last year, and I loved it. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. So I might read this. If I am really ambitious, I might read this Louise Erdrich book, The Last Report on the Miracles at Little No Horse, and I think this is the UK edition, in case you're wondering about that beautiful cover. So, yeah, so I think that could be really good. I just don't know if I have the time. Louise Erdrich is, you gotta put your back into it. I already had a nonfiction Christian book on my TBR for this quarter, so I'm just kind of putting that in with that. The second one is the Springathon, which is hosted by a couple people, and I saw it at Natalie at Curious Reader. And wow, she's just doing She's doing so much this year between Curious Adventure and this now. Curious Adventure is a year-long readathon of nonfiction, and just really, really brilliant prompts for that. So I'm trying to do that, but then she announced this, and Springathon is about reading some nature writing. Could be nonfiction. Well, the main goal is to read one nonfiction nature writing book, but there are some other prompts, bird, water, and those can be fiction or nonfiction. I think there's animal. Oh gosh, I can't remember all of them, but watch the video, and that is taking place May 4th through the 17th. I don't have anything on my current TBR that I think I could squash. I don't think I have any nature writing on tap, but as I've already read a book this quarter that I didn't have on my TBR. I mean, like I said, my TBR is kind of, for the first time since I've been doing quarterly TBRs, is really wacky and wild. I know I have nature writing for Curious Adventure. I know there's some of that in there, so I don't know. We'll give it a shot, and maybe nonfiction is the way to go, because I'm struggling with my fiction reading a little bit. The other thing I wanted to share with you is that a couple people have made masks for Jason and I. And there was a story this morning on CBS Sunday Morning about how people all over the country are making masks and protective gear for people in healthcare. And first of all, if you are working in healthcare and you're just vegging out on a break, watching BookTube, thank you so much for all you're doing, wherever you may be in the world. And secondly, thank you to all the people who have really stepped up. I was so impressed with the companies that, just reworked their floors to be able to mass produce masks they will donate to hospitals and things like this, but also the protective gear. Unfortunately, in spite of my craft project, which benefits really just me, maybe Jason thinks it's pretty too, but I don't have a sewing machine, I don't have fabric, I don't have elastic, is like impossible to find at the moment. So, but it's a really heartwarming story, and so I'm going to post that down below as well, so there'll be a lot of links to things. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, stay safe, BookTube, and I will talk to you again soon.